Hey everyone. So I'm going to talk about anger problems today, and one of the things I want to talk about is the fact that a lot of times when I get angry, people think that it's okay to take advantage of me, and they think that by saying certain things or doing certain things that it's okay to push my buttons or even piss me off even more. And what they don't seem to realize is there's a negative effect to that, and it doesn't just affect me, it affects them more than me. And a lot of people will sit there and say, oh, well, no, it doesn't affect me. Well, yeah, it does, because, see, when you piss me off, I then later on realize that you're the kind of person that goes around pushing people's buttons and thinking that it's okay to piss people off and take advantage of them. And, I know in my last video I talked a bit about friendship, and, a lot of times, I'm sure we've all been mad at our friends or our family or our teachers or coworkers or bosses. And people have this real knack of pushing buttons and just saying things like, oh, well, little Johnny over there, doesn't know how to do his job right, or little Johnny over there didn't turn in his homework, so I have to give him an F, or little Johnny over there didn't clean up his room, so I have to ground him, or it's just stupid little things that and those are very, very minor significant examples that I'm giving, and I'm just throwing out a random name or whatever, and it's just like, people have emotions, everyone gets angry, and for people out there that say, oh, well, I never get angry, I don't have an anger problem, I guarantee you have an anger problem, you just have a different way of dealing with it. Everyone has an anger problem to some extent. And the problem I have with people that sit there and say they don't have an anger problem, or that there's nothing wrong with them, well, I mean, first of all, they're in denial. They're going to deny it. And secondly, they're going to sit there and try to pass the blame on something else. And I've noticed that people will find anything and everything to make you mad or angry. I'm sure there's a lot of things that cause anger. I'm sure there's a lot of reasons people get angry. But one thing that I've noticed about anger is, once you get angry at someone or something, it's easy to stay angry. And I think a lot of times people tend to forget that. And so they will continuously get into this rut of getting angry. And I know myself, I know I can say for myself, I've fallen victim to this many times, and I want to say it's because people know how to push my buttons, but at the same time I want to say that it's because people know that what they're doing is wrong, and so they continuously do it because they think that they're getting a laugh out of it, they think that they're getting humor out of it, and all they're doing is really earning my distrust, earning my hatred towards them, not dislike. See, I don't agree with that. I disagree with people that just say that there's no such thing as hate, because there is. There's plenty of hate in this world, and I, for one, have tons of it, and I just don't agree with people that say, oh, well, you really mean dislike. No, I mean hate. I know what I mean, and I don't, see, that's one of the buttons that people like to push with me, is they like to argue, and I don't like to be told that I'm wrong when I know for a fact that I'm right. Why? Because that just tends to put me off under thinking that that person has to think that they're right all the fucking time. And I don't like people like that. You know, it's just like with people that have aggressive attitudes and that are always aggressive. And they think that they have to be the go-getter all the time. You know, or get up in people's faces. But yet, you stick them in front of a crowd of like 200 people in a classroom. And you tell them to speak in front of it. Yet they can talk on camera. And they don't have a problem with it. You know, I just don't understand people like that. Because, you know, it shows a lack of confidence. And to me, that really gets me angry, because they can sit there and they can talk to a camera just fine, but they can't get in front of a classroom, 200 people. I mean, for people like that, I would just say, you know, go up there on stage and picture them in their underwear. You know, that may, granted, I understand that may not work for everyone. And, you know, you do whatever works for you. But don't go up there, don't get angry, don't get frustrated because you think that, you know, it may not work for you. Give it a try, you don't know. But, you know, like I was saying, you know, people will do things to push your buttons. They will do the most asinine things possible just to get a rise out of you. I mean, you look at people that are trolls, and they do it to get laughed. They think that it's humorous or funny. They think, oh, you know, it's anything to get a rise, you know. And what they don't seem to realize is they're really screwing themselves over. So, I mean, for people that have anger problems, you know, that's why I don't really socialize with people, because they just really don't seem to understand that it's not okay to piss people off. It's not okay to make people angry. It's not okay to push buttons. And you know, for people that think that they're right all the time, those people need a reality check, because as far as I'm concerned, they're the ones that have anger issues the most, and when they sit there and they argue with you, it just really comes out and shows. So that's really all I have to say about that. But I, for one, you know, like I've said, I've fallen victim to it many times, and I can't really give any advice, but what I can say is, if you have an anger problem, well, you know, you use that anger as a way to focus on something positive instead of negative, and don't reflect it onto other people. I mean, if you're having a bad day or you're angry about something, don't dish it out on other people, because all that does is show what kind of person you really are, and no one likes that. And I found out from experience that you don't make many friends doing that, and this world is too cuddly-wuddly or softy-wafty for it, and, well, you know, if the world wants to be babyish about it, whatever, you know, that's them. So, I mean, just don't fall victim to it, and you'll be A-okay.